aspiring chartered accountants will have to wait a little longer to get their qualifications. The South African Institute of Chartered Accountants has postponed the 2020 exams, and candidates will now have to wait until next year to write. But let's discuss this now with Mandi Olivier from Saica. Mandi, a good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us. This is quite, I can imagine, devastating for the students, but equally difficult decision for Saica to have taken. What's the final verdict, just in terms of when exams will be written?
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers. Saica writes, or we set, two professional examinations. The one is usually written immediately after the postgraduate students complete their exams. And that exam is written twice a year, in January and June. And that is the exam that was postponed to November. And in fact, we ran that exam very successfully on the 18th and 19th of November this year. As a result of that, it had a knock-on effect on our second exam, which is our assessment of professional competence. And that exam was shifted to December, and that will be written on the 17th of December this year.
Right. And Mandi, obviously the students that are meant to write have vetted interest to complete the examinations with the hope of qualifying. What does this then mean for them?
Look, it depends where the students are in their process. Many students would have written in January and would be in their first year of their training contract. The postponement from June to November would have very little impact on those students. Then those students who may be in their second or even their third year of their training contract, there would be some impact depending, as I say, where they are in their training contract. Because at the end of the day, in order to qualify as a Saica member and call yourself a CASA, you not only have to complete your professional exams, but you also need to complete your formal training contract, which is a 3-year period.
And just lastly, before I let you go, Mandi, this decision obviously impacted by COVID-19 generally. How has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted this decision, just in terms of booking venues and making sure that the schedule goes as planned?
Gosh, I can't even begin to tell you how stressful this year has been. And of course, when we first went into lockdown, you can imagine we all thought, 3 weeks and it'll all be over. It soon became clear that we were going to have to take a longer term view. And so we've been watching the news very carefully. We've been watching what other countries do. We've engaged with our sister bodies in other countries to see what they're doing about their examinations. And I think at the end of the day, the call we made was the right decision. In terms of booking of venues, of course, my team has been on their toes, in contact with venues all the time. We have to obviously comply with the government regulations, but also the venue regulations in terms of social distancing and so on. So, yes, it's been very stressful, but we're almost there, and we will be very happy when our last exam is over on the 17th of November.
All right, Mandi Olivier from Saica, thank you so much for talking to us.